On the surface, this was a really good election for Republicans. They obviously pulled off big victories in the Kentucky gubernatorial race for the first time in many years. They were able to hold on to the state Senate in Virginia, which is a state that everyone watches closely in politics these days. But if you're really looking at the overall impact of what happened in Tuesday's elections, you see some warning signs for both parties heading into the 2016 presidential election. For Democrats, they look at presidential elections as sort of their gold standard. They have big demographic advantages in a lot of the key states, but the party has steadily been losing control in governor's mansions, in state legislatures, and these are really important because this is where policies actually get made. If you look at Obamacare, for example, which is something that Republicans feel really strongly about in the Kentucky race, state houses, governors are really the ones that are able to control this. So as the Democratic Party loses its advantages at state levels, it could really impact policies that even a Democratic president is able to put in place. And for Republicans, again, on the surface, this is a really strong night for Republicans. They were able to pull out wins in important races. But if you look at the Kentucky gubernatorial race in particular, Bevin is a candidate who has really clashed with Republican establishment. He's clashed with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he rode his outsider appeal to victory. And for Republicans who have been watching this presidential election and saying, at some point voters will start to turn toward the establishment. They will look at a Jeb Bush. They will look at a Marco Rubio. Ben Carson and Donald Trump can't be the nominee. This is a sign that maybe voters are willing to take an outsider across the finish line, that they may be willing to place their bet on somebody who doesn't have a lot of political experience because they are just so frustrated with people who do. The first time that we came to know Governor-elect Bevin is when he really got into a clash with Mitch McConnell when they ran against each other in the Republican primary in Kentucky. He's someone who's got a lot of backing from Tea Party-aligned voters. He's a wealthy businessman. He doesn't really have any political experience, but he was saying things that really connected with voters in Kentucky. He really latched on to Obamacare, which actually has been widely used by a lot of people in Kentucky, but people don't like the general concept of it. You've seen people in the Republican Party establishment get behind him in this election simply for the sake of winning, but he's no favorite among Republicans who have been in government for a long time. But as Mitch McConnell learned during his tough primary against him in the last election, being a Washington politician, being someone who's spent a lot of time in the Capitol isn't necessarily something that voters are looking for right now.